Hey guys, today's lesson is going to be on how to make a 2D beaded Raphael TMNT keychain. So here's the keychain that I'm going to show you guys how to make today. Obviously this one, since he's purple, is Donatello, but today I'm going to show you guys how to make Raphael. So I'm going to be replacing the purple with red. Now before you begin, you're going to need a pair of scissors, some plastic lace or thin shoelace. I'm using plastic lace because that's all I have right now. Your beads, of course. You're going to need 44 green beads, 24 red beads, 15 black beads, and 2 white beads. And of course, a key ring. So the first thing you're going to do is take your key ring and you're going to pass one end of the lace from the back of the key ring to the front right through the center. Now, you're going to grab that end of the lace and pull it, and you're going to keep pulling it until it's even with the other side of the lace. And I got it pretty close, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Now you're going to create a loop in the center of the key ring, and you're going to take the left end of the lace and pass it from the back through the loop and down, and then pull it as tight as you possibly can. Next, you're going to take the right end of the lace and pull it out of the key ring, making it so that it looks like this. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it from the back of the key ring to the front through the same loop and down. And you should end up with something that looks like this. Now I'm going to move this a little bit since it's where the key ring opens. You want to make sure the key ring opening is at the top. And now you want to make sure that, once again, both ends of the lace are even. One end is a little longer, so I'm going to take that end and I'm going to push it upwards just a little bit, and then I'm going to pull the other end down. And I'm going to see how long it is now. So I got them pretty close. As you can see, there's about an inch difference, but I'm just going to leave it at that because I know I'm not going to need that extra end of lace at the end. Make sure that the opening of the key ring is at the top, and then you're going to clip it onto your clipboard or tape it to the table so that it stays in place. Now make sure that the right end is on the right and the left end is on the left. You want to make sure that it doesn't crisscross. Now I'm going to put my reference over here so that you guys can see them. For the first row, we're going to put 6 green beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now take the right end of the lace, and you're going to pass it through those 6 beads in the opposite direction. I got 2, 4, 2 left. 5, 6. Oh. Now pull both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you possibly can. Actually, for this one, you don't want to pull them as tight as possible. You just want to pull them until he makes a straight line. So you want to pull them about that much. There's a straight line there. You want to leave a little space between the bottom of the key ring and the first row of beads, because you want it to be straight. For the next row, we're going to put 3 red beads on the left end of the lace. For the next row, we're going to put 3 red beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to put 3 green beads on the same end of the lace. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more red beads. 1, 2, 3. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it through all 9 beads in the opposite direction, making sure that you don't lose any of your beads in the process. So I got 2 so far. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. and then pull it to the center as tight as you can. Now you want to make sure that it goes even on both sides, like that. Now for the third row, we're going to put one red bead on the left end of the lace, one white bead, one black bead, this is going to be his eyeball, 3 red beads, 1, 2, 3, a black bead, this is his other eye, a white bead, that's the rest of his eye, and then one more red bead. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it through all of the beads in the opposite direction. So I got 3 so far, 4, 5. Hold this a little bit more. 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, and now you're going to pull it to the center and move this down a bit, as tight as you can. And it should go straight since those 2 rows have the same amount of beads. Now doesn't he look super cute already? All right, for the next row, we're going to do 2 green beads on the left end. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to put 2 more green beads on the left end. So 1, 2. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it through all of the beads in the opposite direction. Pull that out a little bit. And I have 3 more. Oh, it's going to be difficult, but I can do it. There we go. Now hold both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. I'm going to pull this down a little more. Pull it as tight as you can. Now this row wants to go off kilter a little bit, but that's okay. He is on here as well. It's a little bit rounded out. Now we're going to make the side of his bandana right here. So we're going to put, now this is a little bit difficult, but it's not impossible. We're going to put 4 red beads on the left end of the lace. Just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to let those 4 beads fall to the center. Move the first one out of the way because we're going to skip over it. Just going to move this over a little bit. All right, so we're going to skip over that first bead, and then we're going to pass the plastic lace through the next 2 beads and pull it as tight as you can. All right, now turn this outward like that so that it looks better. Now we're going to put 3 more red beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the first bead. We're going to skip the first bead and then go back through the second and third bead in the opposite direction. So I got 1 on so far, and pull it as tight as you can. Once again, you want to make sure that this is popped out like that. Oh, it's a little twisted here. I'm just going to fix it. There we go. You want to make sure that it's popped out like that. And I'm going to go through the next bead and pull it as tight as I can. Oh, it's twisting on me. There we go. And then we're going to go back through the first bead that we put on. Now this part, as I said, can be really tricky because you have to pull it as tight as you possibly can to get it to go right. And right now it's not as tight as possible. Right now we're going to bring all the beads over to the center. Now this is really hard to do. We're going to pop this out and bring these beads right in close to the center. And then we're going to pop this out, pull that end so that we get rid of that loop. Oh, pull the other end so we get rid of the loop, because we don't want that loop there. And now push these as close to his body as you can. Just pull it really tight right there. Pop this one out. All right, and now pull it as tight as you can. There we go. Now we're going to pop this bead out, and there is the outside of his bandana. Now, like I said, that was a little bit complicated, and it did actually take me a little while to figure it out because I haven't made one of these keychains in a long time. For the next row, we're going to do a row of all green beads, and we're going to put on 11 green beads. So we're going to put 11 green beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All right, now you're going to take the right end of the lace and pass it through all 11 beads in the opposite direction. Now this part might be a little tricky since there are so many beads, but it's not impossible. So 2, 3, and I got 4 so far. Oh, I got to pull this one tighter so that my beads don't fall off. I'm going to pull them each a little bit tighter. There we go. And put on the rest of the beads. So we got 1, 2, oh. So we got 1, 2, pop them down with the rest of them. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to grab both ends of the lace and pull it to the center as tight as we can. Now this is a little twisted, so I'm just going to pop this out and under. There we go. And as you can see, once you do that, his little bandana tightens up. Oh, I'm just going to fix this again. It went off kilter. There we go. Now for the next row, we're going to do the start of his mouth. We're going to put 1 green bead on the left end of the lace, and then 2 black beads. 1, 2, 6 green beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it up a little, 5, 6, and then 2 black beads, 1, 2, and 1 more green bead. 1. All right, now we should have 12 beads on the line. Now you're going to take the right end of the line and pass it through all 12 beads in the opposite direction. So far I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 4 left. 9, 10, 11, 12. Pull both ends of the line together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. Now don't mind if it curves out, because as you can see with this guy here, he does curve out a little bit. Once we tie him off in the end, he'll be a little bit straighter. For the next row, we're going to do 1 green bead on the left end of the lace. Then we're going to put 9 black beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1 more green bead. Now we're going to pass the right end of the lace through all 11 beads in the opposite direction. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pull both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. And this is where he starts to even out a little bit. There we go. Now we have just 1 more row left. We're going to put 10 green beads on the left end of the lace. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now pass the right end of the lace through those 10 beads in the opposite direction. Alright, so I got 3 beads on the line. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull these a little bit tighter. 9, 10. Pull both ends of the lace together. Oops. Pull both ends of the lace together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. Now this is a little twisted, so I'm going to untwist it. And then pull them to the center as tight as you can. Oh, you went a little off on me, so I'm going to tighten this again. I'm going to just untighten that row a little bit and tighten the row before. There we go. I'll put this row in. There. Now, all we have left to do is tie off the ends of the lace. I'm going to tie a couple knots on this side with the right end of the lace, and I'm going to tie a couple knots on this side with the left end of the lace. To do that, I'm just going to pass the lace up through here. It's tricky to do, but it works out in the end. I'm going to pass the lace through here. There we go. And then I'm going to pass it through the loop and pull it as tight as I can. This will be the start of knot number 1. Now to add another knot, you're going to go back through there again, and once again pass the lace through the loop and pull it as tight as you can. Alright, now we're going to do the same on the other side. You're going to pass the lace up through the back, right here, and pass it through the loop. Just move this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Pass it through the loop and make sure that it goes directly where the green lace is. So right there. And now I'm going to tie one more knot. So I'm going to go back through there again, pass it through the loop, and make sure that it goes where the plastic lace is. And pull it as tight as you possibly can. I'm going to pull that a little tighter, and I'm going to pull this a little tighter. There we go. There is our finished Raphael. Now all that's left to do is cut off the ends of the lace. I'm going to leave a little bit of room so that he doesn't fall apart. And now I'm going to cut the other end. Take him off the clipboard. And here we have a finished Raphael keychain. Now he did go off kilter a little bit again on his bandana, but that's okay. You can leave him like that or you can fix it. I'm going to adjust him a little bit. So I'm going to do this. There we go. That looks better. So that was a lesson on how to make a 2D beaded Raphael TMNT keychain. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you in my next one. Bye for now.